Alright, so we're almost done with our project. We have most of the sections here. Now we want to work on the contact area. So we're going to go here and I'm going to put a comment that says section contact. Okay, so section.section, and we'll call this section contact. And then within here we'll put our container. We'll put our row. And what we're going to have is two 6-column divs on medium screens. So we want call.s12 and then m6. Okay, so we're going to want two of these. So we'll go ahead and put two of those in. Now on this side, we're going to have two card panels. One is going to just have some text. One is going to have the location with a collection item or a collection list. So for this, let's do a card panel. So we'll say card-panel class, and then I'm also going to make it teal. Let's give it white text, and let's also make it center. And then within here, I want to have an email icon, so it'll be an I tag with the class of material-icons. I'm also going to give it a medium class. And then the actual icon will be called email. And then under that we'll put an H4 and we'll say contact us for booking. And then I'm just going to put a paragraph with, let's do lorem 20. Oops, 20. Alright, so if we save that, it should look like that. I'm going to make this a little wider. Okay, so it should look like that. You know what, let's make that an H5, see if that looks any better. Yeah, I think that's better. And then under that, so still within this column here, don't go outside of it. You just want to go under the card panel, which ends here. So right here, I'm going to put a UL with the class of collection. And we're going to have, this is actually going to be a collection with a header, so we also want the class with header. And then the first LI is going to have a class of collection dash header, like that. And we'll put an H4 in here, and we'll say location. Okay, under that, then we'll have our list items with collection item, and we'll say Travelville agency, Travelville agency put two of those. So this one will just say 555 Beach Road, and we'll say Suite 33. And then in this collection item, we're going to say Miami, Florida. I don't know the zip code. I'm just going to put all 5s. Alright, so let's see what that looks like. Alright, so now on this side, on this column, we want to put the contact form. So now we're going to go into this 6-column div on medium screens and up. And we're going to put a card panel, and it's going to be gray, so we're going to say gray, but let's lighten it. Let's say lighten -3. Okay, and then in here we're going to put an H5, and we'll say please fill out this form. Okay, let's put a class of input field. And this is going to be the name input, so we'll do input type text. Let's give it a placeholder of name. Let's give it an ID of name. And that should be it. So underneath that, we'll do a label for name. Let's save it. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Now we're going to add the other field. So I'm going to copy this input field, and we're going to do 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so the second one here is going to be the email. I'm going to change that. I'm going to change the ID to email. I'm also going to change the type to email, and then the 4 attribute. And then this one here is going to be the phone number. So let's change the placeholder to phone, ID to phone, 4 to phone. And then this last one is actually going to be a message, but it's going to be a text area. So I'm going to get rid of the input type, and we're going to use text area. Now with Materialize, when you use a text area, you need to use a class called Materialize text area to make it look right. And then for the ID, we'll call it message. Placeholder, we'll just say enter message. And text areas need to have a closing tag, so let's do that. And then for the label, we'll say message, and we didn't even put any text in these labels, so let's do that. Okay, so this will be phone, email, and name. All right. So the last thing we need in our form is a submit button. So let's go under this input field right here. We'll say input. We're going to give it a type of submit. Value will be submit, and we'll give it a class of btn. Okay, which is teal by default. So let's save that, and let's take a look, and there's our form. So that looks pretty good. All right, now the last thing I want is a footer, and that's very, very simple. So we're just going to do footer. We're going to give it a class of section so it gets that padding. We're going to make it teal. We're going to darken it by 2, and we're going to make sure the text is white, and we're going to center it. Okay, and then inside here we're going to do a paragraph, and I'm going to give it a class of flow text to make it bigger and responsive, and we'll say Travelville, and let's do a copyright symbol, and then 2018, and that's it. Save, and there we go. And I spelt that wrong. All right, that looks pretty good. Now one thing, this text right here, please fill out the form. It's a little close to the label right here, so I'm just going to add a simple style and say section contact. I believe it's an H5, and we're just going to give it a margin bottom of 30 pixels, and that'll just push it down a little bit. All right. So now what we want to do is implement the ScrollSpy. Okay, if I click search, it should scroll down to search. Now we'll start off by giving the IDs to the content areas. So the body is actually going to be for the home link right here. So I'm going to give that an ID of home, and then I'm going to go down to the search section, which is right here, and we're going to give this an ID of search. Okay, and then we want to go to, we're going to skip the icon boxes, go to popular, give that an ID of popular. We also have gallery, give that an ID, and then contact. All right, now I'll save this, and when we created our nav links, we have them go to hash home, hash search, and it will work. You'll see that it'll go to search, gallery, or somewhat, but it's not a smooth scroll. It's just like it just goes there. What we want to do is implement ScrollSpy. okay, which will make it much smoother. Now to do this, all of the things that we added an ID to, we also need to add a ScrollSpy class to. So for the body, let's say class ScrollSpy, and then I'm just gonna, actually the rest of them have classes, so I'll just copy the word ScrollSpy, and let's go to the search and just add that onto the class at the end. We'll go to the popular, add that. We'll go to the gallery, add it, and then on the contact, ScrollSpy. Okay, and then the last thing we want to do is just initialize it. So we'll go down to our JavaScript here. And we just need to take that class of ScrollSpy and call .ScrollSpy. Actually, that should be an uppercase S. And let's save. Let's try it out. So search. There we go. And you can see it actually goes and shows the top of the... Wait a minute. Why is it doing that? Oh, all right. I'm not sure why it did that. Gallery, contact, and if we go back to home, it goes all the way back up. Alright, so that is our project, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the first one. I think this is a pretty good looking site. I mean, if it were a real travel agency, I wouldn't think twice. I wouldn't say it's a crappy site. I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, if it were a production, you might want to do some more stuff to it. And obviously you'd have more functionality, like you'd really be able to search the destinations. But it's a really good start on learning this framework and how to create some good looking stuff. All right, so that's it, guys. I will see you in the next project.